It's perfect.
Okay. So welcome everyone. And I know there's still people coming on the call, so I'll just, take that in stride as we go. My name is Misty Hanna, and I'm the host for today, and really looking forward to being with you all. And we have Judyth Weaver with us today. So I'm really, really excited that she's here. Really love what her work has brought into the world. So I'll just, I don't know if she needs an introduction for some of you, but I will go ahead and say a few things. Okay, so Judyth began studying sensory awareness in 1968, and she continues to this day. And she's a multifaceted teacher and counselor with a PhD in Reichian psychology. She's the creator and founding chair of Santa Barbara Graduate Institute's program in somatic psychology. And she's teaching at the California Institute of Integral Studies for 25 years. She's founding faculty at Naropa Institute and creating its Tai Chi Chuan program. And she's a certified in Reichian therapy, somatic experiencing, massage, biodynamic cranial sacral therapy, pre and perinatal therapy. And she's a senior teacher of Tai Chi Chuan, Rosen method, and sensory awareness. So, and I'm just really feeling the warmth of your spirit already, Judyth, from the times I've experienced your leading. I'm really happy to be here with you today. I'm going to just hand it over to you if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Misty, for that introduction. I just wanted to make it clear, I'm no longer teaching at CIIS, where I taught for 25 years. When I left the Bay Area, I moved from there. And I thought I had retired, sort of, or was not working so hard. I seem to be working more, thanks to Zoom and the pandemic and everything, and doing things online that I never thought were possible.
Judyth, sorry to interrupt. Sorry. I'm just going to mute everyone, and then I need you to unmute yourself. I just forgot about that part. Sorry.
Okay, fine. Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Everyone else is muted. Fine. Anyway, it is just lovely to see so many of you. It was fun, the ones that came earlier, to be able to say hello to them. And then people came at the end, and we couldn't give a special individual hello, but hello to all of you. It is really just wonderful and very, very moving to see you. Well, people from at the beginning, it was, whoa, I haven't seen you in so long. And there's so many here too that I can say that to. Welcome all. I'm honored to be here. It's been quite a time, hasn't it been? And in thinking about, whoa, what would be good for us to focus on? I didn't want to say work on, but focus on today. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but I am sitting in front of a computer for so many hours, many, many more than I thought. And I thought, okay, so maybe we should focus on getting away from the computer a little bit and maybe just standing up. We can work on standing and maybe walking. And then, of course, most of you know that dear, dear, dear Thich Nhat Hanh passed on this week. And his influence on helping people focus on walking in every step, I thought, to honor him and in honor of his teachings, I would like us to focus on standing and walking. So I hope you have enough space, you don't need much, of course, around you, but let's start, if you don't mind. I think most of you are sitting, but just let's come to standing. Oops. I'm going to turn off that light that's in my. Okay. So how was it for you, this change from sitting to standing? What were you aware of? Let's go back and sit again, feeling whatever there is. I'm trying to stay in the picture. Okay. And I wonder if your sitting now feels any different than it was a minute ago before you stood. And if so, how are you different? And now let's come up to stand again. And is this standing for you? Is it different than a half minute ago? Are you different in this standing? And if so, how? How are you different? Or what is your difference? What are you aware of in your standing this time? Can you feel your weight? And where and how do you feel your weight? Maybe you have more weight on one foot or one side or the other. Or maybe a little bit more forward or back. Just notice how your weight is in you and how it goes down and makes contact with what is under you. And does it stop there? Or how far can you feel your weight in you? And what else do you feel in you? Your breathing? Any touching of your arms to your torso? Maybe the contact of your clothing on your skin. Anything else? And now can we come back again to sitting? And how is your sitting now? What happened to that weight that maybe you felt going through your legs? And where is it now? Can you feel your weight going through your torso, maybe out your sit bones? And is there still some weight on your legs? What is your experience of your sitting now? Can you feel the weight going through your torso, through your hips, through your sit bones, into whatever you're sitting on? And how is your breathing now? Where in you do you feel the movement of your breath? And is there still some weight on your feet, being in contact with whatever is underneath them? Or if you are sitting with your legs crossed, how do you feel your weight going down through you into whatever is underneath you? Now I'm going to ask us to come up to standing again, but this time doing it very, very, very slowly. Maybe as slowly as you can. So what preparation is there? What happened in you as soon as I said that? Did anything happen in your belly? Or maybe your shoulders? Or maybe you already started moving. So take your time and begin as you wish, however it feels right to you, and as slow as you can. What happens as you shift weight? As certain muscles come into action. As your weight goes more, maybe into the ground. Are your shoulders taking part in this standing that we're doing now, that we're coming to now? What about balance? What's happening in your balance? What's happening with your breathing? Were there any changes there? And are you standing now, or are you still coming to standing? Or are you feeling something else? How does your weight feel in you now? Are there places where you can feel movement? And are there places in you where you can feel holding, contraction? Just noticing. And how do you feel your breathing now? Where in you do you feel your breathing now? If you take one of your hands and bring it up to touch the very top of your head, how does that change your standing? Is there a connection between the touching of the top of your head and the bottom of your feet, touching whatever that is touching? And what else is happening in between? Can you bring your other hand up to also touch the top of your head? And did that change your standing? Did it change your breathing? Did it change the pressure of your feet in contact with the floor? And is there a connection between the right side of you and the left side of you? Maybe along your torso, your arms. Any breathing in your sides. And if you very slowly allow your arms to come down, does anything change in your breathing, in your connection with the floor, in your sense of your weight? And how is your standing now? And if you shift all of your weight onto your right side, how does that feel in you? The weight on your right, and what happens in the left side of you? What happens in your breathing? What happens in your mouth? Was there any change in your mouth when you changed your weight to your right side? And now very slowly, let's come back to center, standing on both feet, noticing what happens. How you're breathing. And now let's shift our weight onto our left side and notice anything happening in your shoulders as you shift your weight in your leg. Anything happen in your face? Did anything change in your eyes as you shifted your weight to the left? And how does your standing feel now on your left side? How are your arms, your hands? Is there a change when you changed your weight? How is your breathing now, standing on your left side? And as we slowly come back to standing on both legs, does anything change in your breathing? Does anything change in your buttocks or in your belly? And how is your standing right now? Now I am going to invite us to walk some, and I'm not going to lead you closely because you doing it in your own pace, I think would be important. But every now and then I'm going to ring this bell, which will just mean, okay, stop walking, stop moving, and just sense. And then when I ring it again, we can move again. All right. So let's begin. Noticing what happens as you shift your weight, as you move a leg, what else in you is moving. When a leg goes forward, does something happen in your shoulders? And as you shift your weight, do you have any sense of how far down your weight goes into the ground, into the earth, into your floor, whatever it is? How do you feel that? So let's just stop for a moment. Feeling the difference between actively moving and now standing more still. What changes in you?
It's a little hard to hear you, Judith.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me, Sarah. Okay. Is this better?
I hear you fine, Judith. I
Okay.
do. So,
Okay, great.
so
Thank you. Okay, I'll just stay close to the computer. So let's begin to walk again, this time maybe more slowly than your steps before. How do you shift your weight? And where does it go? Is it only through your legs? Or are your arms and shoulders also taking a part in this movement? How about your back? Is your back responding to you stepping? And again, giving up the walking and coming to standing. How does your weight feel this time? Are you aware of anything happening in the back of your neck? Or between your shoulder blades? Or down your spine to your sacrum? Does the weight on your 2 feet, does it feel equal? Or do you have a bit more weight on one foot or on the other? Just noticing. And can we bring both of our arms upward to the sky, to the ceiling? However is comfortable for you. Did bringing your arms up make any changes in your legs or in your weight that's going down? Or maybe there's some weight also coming up. How is your standing now? And this time, with our arms still up, let's walk again, maybe more slowly. Feeling what happens with our arms up as we shift our weight and make different contact down with our feet on the floor. Has this changed your breathing? With your arms up like this, does your weight feel different? Is your stepping different? Your walking different? And as you continue taking steps in your own pacing, let your arms come down as you wish, noticing what happens when you're a little down with your arms. And then maybe your arms are halfway down. Just notice the changes, maybe the changes in your sense of weight. Maybe you're breathing. And eventually, with your arms down, has your stepping changed? Your sense of your weight. Or your energy, your breathing. As you feel you're shifting your weight from one side to the other, is there anything shifting in your mouth? Or in your eyes? Or anywhere in your face? I'm noticing that I'm shifting just one side to the other, and some of you are taking steps forward and not. I'm guessing it's different. So if you've been taking steps forward, come back to where you are and just shift from side to side. And if you've been shifting from side to side, take some steps forward or backwards. Let's notice and see what changes, how we respond to this difference. And forward and maybe backward and side to side. Shifting weight. How much weight do we hold up? How much do we let it go down through us and be supported by the earth? And how does our breathing respond? And now coming back to standing, feeling, feeling your weight. Can you feel the air around you? Now I'm going to ding the bell again and suggest that we take a very brief but much quicker walk around the room, and then I'll ring it again. And coming back to sitting or standing, whatever feels best to you. And how do you feel now? How does your sitting feel? Or your walking, if you're still walking? Some of you are. Fine. How does your connection with the whatever you're sitting on, the floor as you're touching it, how is your connection now with the air around you? And the air in and out of you, of course. So I would love to, well, first of all, thank you all for being here and exploring with me. And I would love to hear from you. Any of your responses, anything you would like to share? Misty, I'm not quite sure how we do this. Do people raise hands or just speak?
Oh, yeah, thanks, Judith. Thank you so much. Yes, if you want to speak or share about your experience, you just need to unmute yourself. And you can also write in the chat box if you prefer that. So, yeah.
So just
thank-
go for it. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah,
So,
Marlene?
Yes, there was a lovely moment somewhere in the middle when my sacrum just, how could I say that? It just gently allowed itself to come down. Beautiful. And I noticed a very subtle, it was later, I noticed a very subtle easing of the, I always hold my neck and head up. And there was a subtle, very subtle, gentle, more allowing. I won't say that my head and neck came down, but there was a gentle easing of my held up head and neck. So that was beautiful. Thank you, Judith.
You are so welcome. I just want to change one word. You said that your sacrum allowed itself to come down. I think that was you.
Who am I?
There's the big question. Right?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Thank you very much, Marlene.
Thank you.
Helga.
Hi, Judith. So long time we didn't see you.
Really, really, yes.
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, it touched me so much that you spoke of Thich Nhat Hanh and somehow dedicated our exploration to his passing away. Because I don't know if it was the first time I was in Green Gulch, 84 or 87, I met him. And he has been with me for all the time, you know, on and off. So I just feel tears coming up. And interesting for me was to clearly feel, lightly and clearly, on shifting weight in standing, how no matter if to the left or to the right, the whole side seemed to be enlivened and also breathing, and my lungs felt there was more breathing when I shifted weight to the left on my left side and the other way around. And I could feel also some more aliveness in the eye, you know, towards the head on the whole side. So thank you for offering all this so I could sense it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mhm.
Judith, this
Yeah.
is Joyce.
Hello, Joyce.
I didn't notice particular things in my body, except just generally a kind of relaxation. But my vision, it's like all these objects in my office suddenly, it's like I don't usually see them. And I just saw my Hotai statue over there and the paintings. I just kept noticing my vision was so much sharper today, and just a great appreciation for the things in here in my room, my own room, that I don't notice most of the time. So thank you for that awareness.
That's wonderful. Thank you for being aware of that.
Hello, Judith. Thank you so much for this lovely offering. It's Shelley in a snowy New York.
Mhm.
And the thing I found as sort of the common joy was just the simplicity of shifting weight alighted in me the seesaw in the playground, that children love. And there's nothing to accomplish. It's just to enjoy the play of shifting weight, which is what walking is.
Ah, mhm.
And as usual, certain areas that are tight kind of pop, like the back of my neck, and then the rotators in one hip versus the other. But after the wheels get greased with breath and space, everything lightens. And it was really the seesaw image that made this so playfully delightful, to do the ordinary, making it extraordinary. Yeah, thank you so much.
Hallelujah. Yeah, thank you. It's put beautifully. Thank you. Mhm.
Hi, Judith.
Hi, Richard.
This is Richard.
Yeah.
Something interesting happened to me. During the pandemic, I found a gym that has a basketball court. And so I've been doing a kind of meditation basketball practice, which has been very important to me.
Mhm.
And today I've found that in the work we were doing, that more the middle of my torso became activated and in walking in a different way, which is related to what I've been practicing with basketball. It's a different way that my back could be in being upright and having more flow upwards. And so it gives me something to work with. So, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Mhm.
Hi, Judith. It's Annelies here.
I'm at least.
Hi there.
Hello.
Can you see me? Hey.
I can see you.
I want to thank you for just one word that I think I'll take from this meeting. In another meeting a few weeks ago with some people who are here too now, we were talking about how we call this what we're doing here. And for some of us, it's work, and for some, it's practice, and for some, it's this, and for some, it's that. And at some point in the beginning, I heard you use the word focus.
Mhm.
And it was used so interchangeably with work or practice or whatever. And I knew I'm going to keep that word with me as I keep doing this.
Ah,
Thinking of this as just my life is happening anyway, but there's a focus in it.
Hmm.
And it really brings me joy to have this word added to my way of dealing with all of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for saying that. I remember that moment, Annalise, because
Do you?
Charlotte always called it the work. And
Mhm.
actually, I remember in my mind came the word work, and part of me said, no, this isn't work. And so I'm not good with words. I'm not a word person. So focus came. And so I remember that change in me. Thank you so much for bringing it up again. Wow. Thank you.
This is Sarah, and what Annalise just said about my life is happening anyway. I had some experiences of that, yes, so many things are happening anyway, and I'm not aware of them. And when I was walking and you asked about, is there anything happening with the eyes? Very subtly, I don't think I can put it into very definite words, but my eyes were coming with me. They were part of the whole moving forward. And then I was stepping backwards and my eyes were coming with me. And I have a vase of pussy willows here. Maybe you can see them.
Yes.
And there's also a space heater going in the room. And I noticed, well, I'm noticing now, but also because I put my laptop back on the table, the pussy willows are trembling. But they were trembling before, and I wondered if it was in response to the space heater. And I turned the space heater off, and they stopped trembling. And I turned it back on. So, the pussy willows are so willing to respond to what's around them. And the question comes up for me is, how willing am I to be responsive or even to know what's going on within me as like Annalise said, I'm living my life anyway.
Or to experience what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Very much. Thank you, Sarah. I know, Misty, you want a couple of minutes at the end. Is there anyone else who would like to say something?
This is Nikki Hanna.
Hello, Nikki Hanna.
This is going to be a beginning thought. So
Oh,
this
wonderful.
is a beginning of me thinking about not working with, but being with.
Right.
I'm somebody that comes from a tradition of a lineage of political work and social justice work that is all about accessing power.
Ah.
And so that's been my frame for a lot of work. And what came to me was some association today with weight. And I just read yesterday a conversation between Thich Nhat Hanh and Bell Hooks, who
Wow.
some of you probably know.
Wow.
And her conception of work, of political work, is really with love at the core rather than power. And not rather, but it's a different kind of association. So that's the kind of connection that I was making today with using my weight rather as access to power or experiencing my own power, as using it in a different kind of way, associating it with love rather than power.
Gorgeous. Thank you so very much. And I know we're getting close to the time, but somebody, Helen, has put her hand up.
Hi, I'll make it quick or short. I just wanted to share when Annalise was speaking about words, the word that came to mind is play. And I always have a little bit of a aversion to that word when used with adults because it sometimes feels very contrived. And somehow in this context, this felt like that's what we're doing. It's like serious play. And that I can really
play. Yes.
It can still be light and it can be heavy, but yeah, I like this idea of play. So thanks.
Yeah, so do I. And it's hard for me, and I'm sure a lot of others. So serious play, really, or deep play, maybe.
Deep play.
That helps it. That
Mhm.
helps me.
Less pressure for it to be fun.
Fun, right. Okay, thank you. Anyone else, or Misty, do you take over now?
Well, we have 2 minutes. Anybody want to come in for anything else? Just
I just, can you hear me?
Yes.
Anita. Yeah.
Yeah. On my video, I'm trying to start my video, but yeah. Well, I just remember, I don't know how many years ago it was. It must have been the 80s or early 90s, but I did a workshop with Judyth at Johnston College a long time ago. That was like a weekend. So that's interesting to re-encounter you all these years later. And I became aware in the process, what we were doing, how I kind of wanted to speed through things, and then I realized, my God, our time is so little together, how precious that is. I really need to slow down. And I became aware of a pain in my back that I know I have, but I've been minimizing it. It became, it was like, wow, this really is a pain. It's not just some little, thing I can discount. So, I have a tendency to do that sometimes. So that was interesting to realize that it really is something I need to, pay attention to, and, yeah. So.
Really important, yes. Thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Before he takes over, let me just say thank you very much for coming today and sharing this. Thank you. Sorry, Misty, I interrupted you.
No, not at all. I was going to go to you actually for a moment, so that was great. Yeah, Judyth, thank you so much, and to everyone for your presence today. And yeah, just so beautiful to walk with each of you. And Judyth, thank you for guiding us in our walking today, and in the memory of Thich Nhat Hanh as well, whose I'm sure resonance is felt by many, many, many the world over. So yeah. And yeah, I think what we do is there's this thing called afterglow, I've heard, and it's sometimes some of us stay after for a little longer. And so I'm welcoming anyone who wants to do that, please stay on. And it's, I guess, however long, like usually it's 15, 20 minutes or so extra. Yeah. And it's also a time you can share a bit more maybe about your experience if you didn't get a chance to do that. Or just anything that's come up for you that you would like to, chat about. So the Sensory Awareness Foundation is offering these sessions now for a fee. I think most of you know that. And so we really appreciate you coming and supporting us. And if you would like to be a member of the Sensory Awareness Foundation and you're not already, then you can find more information about that on our website. And yeah, so just thank you so much for being here. Really good to feel you. And be together in these ways. Yeah.
I didn't know that we get to stay longer. That's wonderful. I can stay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to share something, an experience that I've had recently. And I thought, no, let everybody else talk. I don't want to take anyone else's time, but now we've got extra time. And I can tell you my great opening of awareness. I've just spent 5 months up in my favorite place, Cortez Island in British Columbia, which is very, very rustic. I was snowbound for 3 weeks, couldn't go anywhere. Luckily, I had enough wood to keep the fires going. And there are a lot of trees, and they're big trees, cedar trees and fir trees, and they are big. And when the wind blows and the storms come, I mean, those big, tall, 100-year-old trees bend, and it is scary. It is really, really scary. And then I've been going there and teaching there and just learning there for 50 years, but 30 years in this spot. And I had a lot of time. Oh, the power goes out a lot, so there's nothing you can do but sit and look at the trees. And all my life, I see trees, the wind blows and they move, the wind doesn't blow and they're still. Well, what I've learned is that's not so. That if I soften my eyes, I can see the movement of these trees, even when the wind isn't blowing. The trees are always moving. They are always dancing. And I never saw it because I'm too much doing or looking or all of that stuff. But if I just soften, I can see it's quiet, it's exquisite. And now I'm here in Seattle, Washington, and there are trees too. And I have to say, the dance isn't the same. It's different. We are all being affected by the city, by the smog, by the everything. It's just different. But I want to share, and it really is. I have to give up looking at the trees and soften my eyes, and I can see the dance. And so that's the most glorious experience I've had in a long time.
So I'm going to stop the recording now because this is the afterglow. So I'm going to stop that just to let everyone know.